Yo, what's going on, guys? I thought I'd do another crafting video. See this hands-free crafting? I just finished the crafting session and then I realised I wasn't actually recording my camera. So I thought whilst I'll redo this hands-free crafting session, I'm gonna do about another. I think we end up 560 chaos or something. Put it into some Val Regalias, some gloves, and some other stuff. I thought, you know what? Seems like I kind of messed up the audio. I was thinking, what can I talk about in PoE? I don't actually want to talk about PoE today. I just want to talk about different games and a different genre of game that I've been enjoying. I don't know why I said it like that. And a few other things that have just been on my mind. So the gameplay you're seeing is I just finished crafting. We spent about 560 chaos. We're trying to make some decent gloves or some form of energy shield, chest piece or something like that. I know people like watching people burn currency, seeing if people get lucky, and I really enjoy doing it. So I thought, let's hit two birds with one stone. Let's do some crafting, let's make a video. So the type of game I've recently been playing, and I'll ask you the question afterwards, it's called Oxenfree. There's a playthrough on my channel. And it's I guess you'd call them a walking simulator in the style of, I believe there's Dear Esther or Esther, I think it's called. Firewatch? I'm really bad at names. I think I just purchased. Home is a different one. And they're basically choice-based games. I guess you'd call Life is Strange one. I'm sure that's one of the more popular types of games of that genre. And they are something that I have never enjoyed. And they're pretty nice gloves. 50 in, 200 odd ES, some dexterity, not bad. And they're a game, yeah, similar to Path of Exile. This is what I wanted to talk about. Path of Exile is a game that I just had no interest in. When I first started Path of Exile, I got onto the beach. I didn't really like the top-down view. I'd never played what this type of game is. I believe it's an ARPG is the correct genre, and I thought I just didn't like it. It was stuck camera, you know. I was used to playing Dota, StarCraft, those type of games where you could move the map, and I just didn't like it, and I didn't really get the point of it. I thought, what's the point of me killing these monsters on the beach? It's a campaign game. And just kind of looking through the standard tab, seeing what I've got. I'm trying to find another Val Regalia to craft here, as that one wasn't actually, it's probably a little bit too good to roll over. And we'll get going on this other Val Regalia. Yeah, so when I first started PoE, I didn't really get it. And sometimes still today I think about PoE and I think, like, man, it's such a strange game, because when people have asked me, hey, what games do you play? I tell them, I play Path of Exile on the PC. I really enjoy it. You should try it. And they say, oh yeah, what's it about? And I say, well, you kind of level up a character. You kind of kill monsters and get stronger, and then you kill harder monsters, and then you kind of think, hey, I can kill all those monsters. I'm going to make another character to do the exact same thing. You kind of sound like a crazy person. And sometimes when I think about playing Path of Exile, I think to myself, like, why am I playing this game? Saying it out loud, look at that, that's a pretty nice one. Saying it out loud, it sounds a bit mad. Like, why would anybody play that? It just sounds ridiculous. But for some reason, it is enjoyable. Mindlessly killing monsters whilst progressing a character is enjoyable. Who would have thought it? We tried to look for a little macro here to give us the roles of it, but we didn't actually have one installed, so we didn't find out the role. But I'm pretty sure that was 2 tier 1s, and we're going to look for another Val Regalia here. Pretty sure we've got one. So yeah, spinning off that topic of Path of Exile seems a little bit daft on paper, but it's super fun. I've always thought to myself, those games where you just click a decision seem really, really boring. Why would anybody play them? And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to buy a few of these 4 to 5 hour long games, because for one, they're good for streaming. I can play that entire game over the course of one day. and it doesn't drag out. It's not a 50-hour RPG game that's tedious. It's one sit-in, one playthrough. It's an experience, and I thought I'll just buy a couple and see what they're like. And I've actually thoroughly enjoyed playing that type of game. I really didn't think I would. They are, I guess you'd say, atmospheric, I believe. They are an atmospheric-based choice game. And on paper, and maybe watching it, they sound awful. Why would you care about virtual characters' choices, the dialogue? But if the dialogue is done well, you're basically playing an interactive movie, again, which on paper in my head just seemed bad. Why would I want to play an interactive movie? But for me, personally, I've really enjoyed them. They're super stress-free, which is great. If you've just, you've had an annoying day at work. I got a comment, which was a really nice comment, that the guy was at work, he was sat in his truck whilst he was working. It was like a 3-hour-long playthrough of Oxenfree, and he was pausing it when he was working, and he kept coming back to it, and he was enjoying the playthrough. And that's the experience. That's the experience you get with these games. Is they're just very relaxing. They have these typical atmospheric audio, the beaches, stones under your feet. You're making choices, you're listening as we go. But also, it is an interactive game. You often have to run, jump, climb, these type of things. There's even some swimming games. And overall, they're thoroughly enjoyable to play. And I've surprised myself in the fact that I've found a genre of game that I just did not think I like, similar to PoE, that I am slowly becoming a fan of. Now, granted, I've only played 2 or 3 games in this type of category, and maybe I've just hit the jackpot with some good games, and probably there are some very bad games out there that are cash grabs, because a game without content, quote, content, like a typical fight element or a leveling system, you can probably cheap out on. And that probably lends itself to these early access games ripping people off. But the ones that I've played, I've actually really enjoyed, and I just thought I'd share that with you, that I've been thoroughly enjoying playing these types of games. And maybe if there's a genre of game you think you don't like, you should probably just give it a go, if the price point is right for you. I wouldn't have bought these games if they were on their correct sales. When they were £20 or I think they were like $25, I wouldn't be buying them. But for £6, I'll give them a go. I'll have 5 to 6 hours of enjoyment, and then I can uninstall it, say I've done that, and move on with it. And I don't have to think about, am I completing an entire sort of GTA world, or an entire whatever. You can just really relax into these games. Similar to PoE, one of the reasons I really enjoy Path of Exile is the element of relaxation, that you can slowly chip away at a goal of yours without really a care in the world. It's a very nice thing. I guess it'd be similar to World of Warcraft grinding, that you can come after you finish your day, and you can think, today I want to do level 80 to 90. I want to try get some drops. You can put on the music or a podcast or an audio book. You can play the game, and you can work on a personal goal. Now, to some people that might not be how you play Path of Exile. That's how I personally play it. I work on a personal goal. I don't get stressed out by trading. I don't get bothered by random people in a voice chat of a game flaming, and you don't think, or is there an AFK tonight? No matter what is going on, you can always play PoE without fear of like, well, I hope this hour and a half isn't going to be wasted because somebody quits or something. You're always working on that goal, and that's something I've really come to enjoy. And when I first started out the genre of this ARPG, I didn't really understand why anybody would play a game that has no real, I guess, that you don't really interact with a community as such. I have a little bit more interaction now that I talk to people on YouTube. I've been in some Discord channels, sub to some streamers, hang around in some chat channels. I guess like that's kind of the community, you know, read on Reddit what people are up to. There is a community out there, but for the most part, it's for me a relaxing single player game, Path of Exile, with a multiplayer element. Like you can bring your friends in to level up. We've spoke about my likes and dislikes of the leveling system, but for the most part, you know, I will recommend the game, and I enjoy it. They're not too bad boots. 216 ES with some int, they're okay. I thought I'll just leave them on that, and then I think we go and we do an axe, and then we go and we do a Val Regalia again. Still trying to craft this axe. I've been trying to craft axes for so long. I think in the last crafting video I showed you the axes I've made. Some tyrannical merciless axes, or tyrannical celebration and merciless celebration axes that bricked. That's probably, if you want to know what the most depressing thing I've ever done in PoE is, having, I think it was a 170% axe with 27% attack speed and regling it and bricking it. To be honest, I'd probably go back in time and eternal that, because I've spent more than an eternal or worth of exalts, and I've never hit that double roll again. So in hindsight, I should have probably done something a little bit better with that axe, but I didn't, and I'm going to regret that, because if anybody's tried to craft an axe, you can't chaos spam an axe. I've tried. Okay, there are some videos out there, I've seen them, and they tilt me deep down in the heart that some people have chaos spammed some amazing axes, but there are so many rolls on an axe, it's very tough, I find, to actually go ahead and create an axe through crafting. It's just really tough. I think I end up scrapping one of these Val Regalias here. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you like what's been going on. I've really enjoyed a new genre of game. It's been a while since I've picked up a game and thought I really enjoyed that. The last one that was a game that I didn't typically like playing and I came to enjoy was Sleeping Dogs and GTA 5. Growing up, I never actually liked the GTA games. My friend, he would play them. I'd watch him play them in the streets on his PSP. He had a PSP and he'd play them on his Xbox. I think it was his Xbox original. I was going to say Xbox One, but I guess you call it an Xbox original now. And he really enjoyed those games, you know, driving around in the city. They never really interested me. I've always been this player about, well, what do you do in the game? And he was like, well, you just play the campaign and you drive around and you kill shit. It's fun. And I was like, yeah, but why? What's the point? So I've always had, or should I say, I've always been after the games with goals. And nowadays, I'm playing the games that are very open, very free, and let you do what you want, and I'm having enjoyment with them. Sleeping Dogs, GTA, Oxenfree, these type of games where you just, I guess you're not a passenger to the developer in the sense that I guess you are a sense in Oxenfree, but the developer gives you the tools in these games to do what you want. And it's kind of similar in Path of Exile. It's a bit more rigid because you are sort of all working towards maps, and that's kind of what everybody ends up doing. But you can do your own thing. You can play the game as slow as you want with whatever build you want, and as long as if you're having fun, there's nobody stopping you. And I think that's what's good. Apart from like the odd meta changes in Path of Exile, you can relatively do what you want, as long as if your build can do maps. Pretty much that build is, I guess, viable, because maps equals money, and with money you can buy stuff that you want. So if you want to play, I don't know, Lightning Ball, or Ball Lightning, sorry, and chug through maps and only play Cells maps for some reason, let's say you're a crazy person and you want to only play Cells maps, you can actually do that. Like, nobody stops you. There isn't this game mode that suddenly changes. This isn't League or PUBG where there's one game mode and that's what everybody plays, and you either like it or you don't. You can pretty much do whatever you want, and there's nobody going to stop you. If your build's the most efficient in the world, or your build's not the most efficient, you can still do it and have fun. And I guess I'm rambling at this point, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about what's been going on. And for me, what's been going on is trying new games, really. I guess to wrap this up, we'll talk about some Steam games I purchased on the summer sale. We bought This War of Mine, I guess like a survival game. You're like an overhead view of a building, and you have to scavenge, and you have to try survive like a month of war. Sometimes you'll rob houses, sometimes you'll get robbed, sometimes you'll loot and scavenge. People will fall ill, they'll get depressed, you have to cheer them up, and it's about trying to survive. Then I bought, I believe, Call of Pripyat, something Pripyat. It's a stalker game that's meant to be very highly rated. It's an old FPS game. We bought Shadow of Mordor, which is meant to be kind of cheesy and repetitive, but it's a good blast, good fun, so we got that. We've got Oxenfree, that makes it 4. Firewatch, that's 5. Firewatch is like you're walking through a park. It's I guess you'd say a stimulating walking game that sounds kind of boring on paper, but again, it looks kind of interesting to me. So that's 5. We got Enter the Gungeon, which is a dungeon crawling game with randomly generated levels and guns, and you have to get through and complete it. It's a very tough game. Think of it Super Meat Boy meets Hotline Miami, that type of game. I think that's 6. There's a couple other games I'm missing, trying to think, but yeah, that's for the most part what we bought. I can't think of the other games that we bought. Shadow of Mordor, yeah. Enter the Gungeon, Call of Pripyat, This War of Mine. Maybe that was it. We tried out Sniper Elite 4. I didn't like that at all. Me and my friend played that co-op. Really didn't like that. It just felt clunky. So I ended up refunding that. And I was thinking about buying Factorio, but I've already got way too many games, so I decided against that. And that game is a game where you like build a world of, you build a factory. Again, that sounds boring, but you build this factory, you build blueprints, you scale it all up. It turns into this RTS game where you have to defend your base that you've built against these aliens. And the developer said that's never going on sale. It's always going to be £15. So I thought, well, I don't need to rush out and buy that, considering it's never going on sale. So I left that. And there's probably 1 or 2 games else I missed, but pretty much we bought like 6 or 7 games to play. Oh yeah, we bought Inside. Inside is like Limbo. I've really enjoyed Limbo. Limbo's another game that I didn't find that interesting on paper. Puzzle game. Didn't really like Super Meat Boy or those type of difficult platformers, but when it actually came to it, really enjoyed the art style and the game. And that's something I found myself saying recently. It's very odd for me. I found myself saying, I really like the art style of this game, and I'm like, that doesn't really matter, but it does. Like, some games just are really nice to look at, and they immerse you in the experience. And I think that's what games used to be for me. What do you do in it, and why, and how do you beat other people in it? Whereas games now for me are like this: is it a good experience? Is it fun? Is there a load of toxic 12-year-olds going to ruin it for you? Can I just pick up and play this? Is it online only? You know, are your servers, is my map dependent? Say I've made a map, do your servers have to be online? Again, online only. And all these questions I now ask myself, whereas back in the day when I was a kid, it used to just be, I'm going to play Gran Turismo in the dark and play Gran Turismo 1 on my PS4 and, you know, play fucking Scudo Pikes Peaks or whatever it was called. And that's what I did, whereas now, like, my direction of gaming's changed. And I don't know if this video's I don't even know if anyone's still watching. If you are watching, thank you. I think we're coming to a close with the crafting. I think I end on like a decent one. Yeah, that was not too bad, because I think when I look the rolls up, this goes up to 120. So this can become like I think it's like a 750 plus ES chess piece. So we might exalt that at some point in the future, but that was a pretty nice one to end on. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. I know my last popular video of Path of Exile caused a lot of controversy because I said that the leveling system was boring and it was a grind. I know 3.0 is going to fix that, hopefully. I was just giving my viewpoints about the game, you know. The video's ended, this crafting session has ended. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you want to support me in any way, give the video a thumbs up and a comment, and hopefully you're having a good day. Catch you later. Peace out.